Okay, my name is Bobby Vaught. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you so choose. In the description below, I'll put a link to lesson 1 of a series that I've done, Everything You Need to Know to Understand Investing. It's up to 17 lessons now. You go through the whole thing, you will understand investing better than 99.9% of the people out there. More to come at some point when I get around to it. But in any event, lesson 1 has a link to, and I'll put a link to lesson 1, which has a link in the description of lesson 2, which has a link to the description to lesson 3, and so on and so forth. Make them all real easy to find if you're interested. There it is. Okay. Today's presentation is not about that. However, there's 2 different parts to this channel. The first part is the investing side, which I just mentioned, and then there's also what I actually do a lot more of, a lot of political, social, economics commentary, that kind of thing, which in fact is today. The big hot topic, one of them, the last couple of weeks, is what's going on in Iran. I'm sure you've been paying attention. You know what's happening there. Several times over the years, the Iranian people have had these protests / revolution, pretty much call it a revolution, or at least a revolution attempt this time, and this is the closest they've come that we've seen to actually being successful. And we all hope and pray for the beautiful Persian people, Iranian people. This is about Candace Owens. Okay, Candace Owens is a flake, and I'm going to demonstrate several reasons here why, if possible. So this is a YouTube post that YouTube videos she posted just a couple of days ago, 2 days ago, and I want you to take a listen to what she says here. Make this nice and big so you get the full gist of it. And I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see it. I'm going to play probably, I'm not sure, maybe roughly 10 to 12 seconds here, and then we'll make some comments, okay? Because I want you to listen real closely to what she says here.
Of war everywhere all the time. So many people, oh my gosh, you won't believe what these radicals are doing.
She's referring to what radicals, she's referring to the Iranian authoritarian regime over there, that ridiculous theocracy in Tehran.
And of course, it just seems to be that whenever Bibi Netanyahu's around the corner, like, hey, I want that piece of land, suddenly our media starts telling us, hey, you wouldn't believe how free these people are trying to get in Iran. These people are really, woo, we need to free the Iranians. Oh, they've been living in oppression.
Yeah, that's true, they have. Okay, so let's just make a few comments on that, okay? This is the part of Candace Owens that just really, oh boy. I'll make a few comments on, let's just analyze this. 4 very important points here, just based on that. What was that? That was roughly about, I played a little more than, so it was roughly about, there's 24, there's about 28 seconds there. And 4 really important points to make about just that 28 seconds right there. Okay, so she says, so Candace says, you just wouldn't believe, let me put it this way. Why wouldn't we believe how free the Iranians are trying to get, the Iranian people? I don't know about Candace, but I mean, any reasonable person would find the Iranians longing to be free from that ridiculous authoritarian regime very believable. Why wouldn't we? And that's true regardless of whether you think the United States should be doing anything on this matter. Any reasonably intelligent person didn't need much convincing on that one from anyone, including from the media, Candace. Well, yeah, we believe it. We believe it's, they would like to be free from that authoritarian regime in Tehran. Candace has this is the second point. Candace has a long history of doing this. And notice kind of her mocking tone there, all right? She's not mocking the Iranian people with that sarcasm. She's mocking just the idea, the very idea of you even caring about it. caring regardless of whether you think the West, the United States, should do anything on the matter. I mean, it could occur to Candace that at least part of the media's job is to report what the heck is going on in Iran. What else is the media supposed to do, by the way? Just ignore it? Regarding that Israel just wants another piece of land, according to Candace, and she mentioned Bibi Netanyahu by name. Yeah, that one really floored me. Another piece of land. Another one? Another, she says. It would take way too much for me to go through the entire history since 1948, the modern existence of Israel, as we think of it now at least. I could talk, going through the whole history of it would take a couple of hours probably at least. And then that would still just, hit the tip of the iceberg. But I'll try to keep this fairly short here because I don't want this to go for an hour. But 1967, so that's when Egypt, Syria, and Jordan tried their stated goal of drive them into the sea, and using the Sinai, the West Bank. Call it the West Bank because it's on the east side of Israel, but on the west bank of the Jordan River. On the other side of that would be Jordan, the Golan Heights. So, which kind of connects there, towards Syria, right? So this is so Israel's kind of cigar shaped, and you have Egypt over here, and then here's the Sinai, and Egypt over here in northeast Africa, and then you have there's the West Bank, there's Jordan, there's the Golan Heights, Syria, right? Okay. So those three countries, they were trying to use these areas as a launching pad in an attempt to do what? An attempt to effect another Holocaust. If Israel had lost that war, it was going to be door to door, kill every Jew we can find. So Israel takes those areas that later became known as, the occupied territories. If you hear the term Israel proper, that means prior to 1967, or basically the 1948 borders. So their enemies were trying to slaughter them. And since then, land for peace, with very limited positive results for Israel, very limited at best. One, however, was, in all fairness, Israel actually gave the Sinai over here. Okay, so this is here's Israel, and this is Sinai here, and Egypt over here, northeast Africa. So Israel gave the Sinai back to Egypt in 1982, keeping the agreement that Israel made in 1979, right? So they just gave that back. Sinai is not exactly a place anybody would want to live, but it is a very important strategically, obviously, as far as military, tactically, I should say. Okay, so since then there's been a cold peace between Egypt and Israel. It's fascinating that a cold peace. It's fascinating there is peace everywhere in that region where people have demonstrated an interest in peace with Israel. Go figure. Nobody in Cairo is worried about getting, just for example, no one in Cairo is worried about getting bombed or anything. So on Gaza, however, Israel barely finishes kicking out their own citizens in 2005. Hamas takes control in 2007. And surprise, the rockets start flying out of Gaza into the southern part of Israel. Go figure. Even in the West Bank, Israel has given land back. There's three areas there in the West Bank. You have Area A, they're now called Area A, Area B, and Area C. Various levels of control or lack of it. Area A is complete control by the Palestinians, about 18% of the West Bank. There's places in that area especially where you wouldn't want to go. They even have signs there warning you, don't go past this area, not safe for you. I don't know what the heck another piece of land. Israel, the only time, so Israel, they took the West Bank, Sinai, Golan Heights, 1967, and because the enemies were trying to use it as a launching pad to drive them into the sea, wipe them off the face of the map, and since then, Israel's been giving it back. So another piece of land. It doesn't seem to occur to Candace even the possibility that a very legitimate motive for Israel wanting to see an end to that authoritarian theocracy in Iran is the fact that the Iranian regime has been wanting to wipe Israel off the face of the map since they took over 47 years ago. It doesn't even occur to Candace maybe that could be a legitimate motive for Israel wanting to see an end to this regime. And moreover, Iran funding both Hamas and Hezbollah, both with their stated goal, the destruction of Israel. It's what both organizations wrote in their charter. So this Iranian regime is the biggest obstacle to peace in that region. It isn't just, Candace, it isn't just Israel that would like to see it end. The only friends that Iranian government has anywhere is Russia and maybe a couple others. The Saudis are fed up with Iran. The whole world wants that ridiculous Iran regime except Russia, maybe a couple of others. Iran has been a thorn in everyone's side, the biggest obstacle to peace in that entire region. Yet here's Candace Owens. What she's doing is she's trying to simplistically reduce this down to, oh, this is to Israel's benefit. Ending that regime would be to everyone's benefit except Russia. Candace, not just in Israel. I actually stomach listening to leftists like Kyle Kalinske, also the Young Turks with Cenk Uygur and Ana Kasparian. It isn't easy to sit through their presentations. I mean, take a deep breath and hit the start button and just kind of go, oh boy, let's see if I can get through this. And sometimes I can't, quite frankly, but sometimes I'm able to sit through it. But what I hear from people the likes of Kyle Kalinske, Cenk Uygur, stuff like this, oh, the CIA and the Mossad are behind this uprising in Iran. Okay, well, I hear that, and my reaction is, yeah, and? I mean, what if they are? So what? Iran fires rockets, Hezbollah fires rockets. Hezbollah has 100,000 rockets they could fire tomorrow, today for that matter, onto Israel, and we all know what they really want. It's complete destruction of Israel, funded by Iran. And these basket case leftists get their panties in a wad if, Mossad is in on the, instigating the current revolution in Iran. An action that, according to the Iranian people, would actually be very helpful to them. That, according to what we've been seeing the last 2 weeks, and this isn't the first time in the last 47 years. This latest uprising just happens to be the biggest one. I know this. No one would have the ability to just wave a magic wand and create this authoritarian regime, anti-authoritarian sentiment amongst the Iranian people. No one would have the ability to do that except the Iranian government itself, which is actually like two governments in one. Mossad wouldn't be able to create that anti-authoritarian, anti-government sentiment in Iran. They wouldn't have the ability. No one would have the ability to do that. It would have to already be there. In any event, let's just take a look at a few things regarding Candace Owens here. Okay, let's see. A few things I knew. Maybe you know, maybe you didn't. We'll cover them. I'm not going to go quite so far as to accuse her of being a Holocaust denier. I don't think so. I don't think even Candace could be quite that flaky, but she's kind of bumped up against it. Okay, so accusations of Holocaust denial and minimization due to public. I'm reading the AI here. This stuff I already knew, but I just kind of needed to get it where I could, use it. Several public comments made in 2024 and 2025. She has denied being a Holocaust denier. Okay, so here's some of the key points here. Questioning the Nazi experiments. In July 2024 podcast titled Literally Hitler, Owens referred to the well-documented medical experiments conducted by Joseph Mengele at Auschwitz as bizarre propaganda. Yeah, it is well documented, Candace. What's bizarre is denying it. This is, we all knew it happened in the 1950s. Everybody knew it. In the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. And here we advance up to July 2024. And in revisionist history, Candace Owens has decided, nope, didn't happen. She has described the Holocaust, listen to this carefully. She has described the Holocaust as, quote, an ethnic cleansing that almost took place, unquote. While simultaneously arguing the post-war, this is really important here, while simultaneously arguing that the post-war expulsion of Germans by the Allies was a more definitive, quote-unquote, ethnic cleansing. So let's just clarify that. The expulsion of Germany out of France, as we know, Germany had invaded Czechoslovakia, France. So the expulsion of Germany out of France by the Allies, like when we landed at Normandy, June 6, 1944, she says that's a more definitive ethnic cleansing. More definitive, more than what? More than the Holocaust, I guess. That's what she's saying there. Revisionist narratives. She has claimed this one really killed me. She has claimed that education regarding Hitler and Nazi Germany amounts to indoctrination akin to Soviet tactics. Indoctrination. So all these years since the end of World War II and the Holocaust, all of that was merely an indoctrination. Everything that we've been told in school, everything for decades, was merely an indoctrination. How did she put it? Education. She claimed that education regarding Hitler and Nazi Germany amounts to indoctrination akin to Soviet tactics. Oh. Okay. Well, alrighty then. Wow. I wish I could just someday just sit down and, do like a 5-hour deal. I'll probably have to break it up into parts. The entire history, everything that Israel has been through since 1948. I mean, it could be like, that could take a while. But in any event, what's really mind-numbing to me when I look back on it, because there was a time, you go back to about 6 years ago, about 2020, and I distinctly remember I was all about Candace Owens for president at the time when she became 35 years old. Constitution. I think she became 35 in. Yeah, she turned 35, I believe, in April of 2024. I think that's right. Okay, but in 2020, I saw her as possible president material at some point. I really did. In fact, I distinctly remember on my Facebook account numerous posts I made. They're probably still there. To delete them, I would have to scroll back a couple of hours and take a couple of hours just scrolling, trying to find them to delete them, because I make posts on my Facebook every day. But I mean, there's a lot of posts on there. But at any event, yeah, I made posts, like 6 years ago, give or take. Candace Owens for president, man. I was all about that. I had my head examined. Advance up to early 2022, and I was all about Candace is a flake. And then I would post that on in social media, and other people on my side of the aisle, and conservatives, some of them, they jumped all over me about that, and then later they started figuring it out. About a year or so after that, Tucker Carlson, same thing. I could see it. I said, this guy's a flake. He's lost it. I would explain that, same thing. People would get upset at me, and then within a year or so after that, they started figuring it out. Yeah, no kidding. They're all about, yeah, they see it now. Candace Owens, overrated. She thinks she's assigned herself the position of being some kind of world geopolitical expert now. No, not even close. Not even close. Yeah, but you go back to, obviously, but if you go back to about 2020, at that time, I didn't see that. I thought, yeah, this is somebody who could be president someday. Yeah, I really, really missed the mark on that one. Bad, obviously. I'm going to leave it right there. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you so choose. In the description below, I'll put a link to lesson 1 of that series, Everything You Need to Know to Understand Investing. Until next time, hopefully I was treating you well. You have a great day.